hosting a panel on featuring area business owners. But first, if we could all just stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Anthony?
All right, good evening, everyone. Members of LSIA, of Lithicum in our area, people watching through streaming through Adam's streaming system with one of our tech guys over there who's pretty skilled in this type of thing. We're welcoming everyone to our second annual business forum, the second annual LSIA business forum. And what we're going to do is the business forum itself is made up of two parts. The first part is we do a monthly journal. It's called the Monitor. And we have sponsors for the Monitor. And two of our sponsors have come in. And so we want to show our appreciation for their largeness in helping to keep the Monitor going. So we start off with Amy Salmon of the Salmon Insurance Group. Amy, if you could stand up, please. We want to thank you again.
Is the mic working? Yes? Okay, good.
So, and maybe you just make an opening statement for us.
Sure. So I am Amy Salmon with Salmon Insurance Group. We have been located here in Linthicum for 8 years now. I grew up in this area. My husband grew up in this area. My kids go to school at two of the schools in Linthicum. I love being a part of this community. It's one of my greatest joys of being a business owner. There aren't very many, to be honest with you. It's usually a lot of headaches, but one of the greatest joys that I get, other than helping my clients, is the things that I can do in the community. So bringing Santa around, I was telling them about the trouble we had this year with bringing Santa around. But it's a joy to do that, to see the joy on not just the children's faces, but the adults' faces when we come through with Santa. It fills my heart with so much joy at Christmas time. The scavenger hunt that we usually do around Christmas time, we did not do it this year. I didn't have it. I only had 2 new houses volunteer to be part of it. I didn't want to do the same houses year after year because it kind of takes away from the whole scavenger hunt idea. So next year we'll be pushing for more people to volunteer their homes to be in the scavenger hunt. So keep that in mind. And that started during COVID as a way for me to give back to some of the local businesses, especially the restaurants that were really hurting during COVID. So I went around and got gift cards from each of them for the prizes for the scavenger hunt and a way for families to get out and do something safe together for the holidays during COVID. So things like that I try to come up with in the community to help. Let's see, we try to do a shred day every day around Earth Day, where we have a free shred truck there for people to bring in their documents to be shredded safely to help against identity theft and things like that. There's a lot of things we do throughout the year. So I love being involved in the community. I love helping my clients. I've been an insurance agent. April will be 25 years that I've been doing insurance. So I have a lot of experience with insurance. I am a strange person. I enjoy insurance. I really like it. I think it's interesting. I know not everyone feels that way, which is why you should have an insurance agent that you trust and that you have a good communication with. Communication is key when it comes to insurance. You should have an agent that you trust, that you communicate openly with and honestly with about your family and the assets that you have and your household and how things work in your household. It can save you a lot of money over the course of your lifetime if you're honest and upfront and communicate openly with your insurance agent. So everyone should do that. If anyone has any, do you want to do questions or how did you want to proceed?
What we're going to do is we're going to circle back.
Okay.
So thank you. That's excellent. Thank you for that. Just as in full disclosure, I made my living in insurance too on the other side. So you guys brought the money in and we paid it out, right? So second sponsor is Bruce Fink of Fink Sells Lithicum. So Bruce, if you could stand up, we want to again just thank you for helping to support the Monitor.
and it's with Douglas Realty, and my slogan is Bruce Sells Linthicum. So that's what he was trying to get out of there. It's nice coming back to this building. This is where I graduated from in 1974, Andover. Anybody remember Andover? All right. That's when I got my real estate license also in 1974. So I've been, not to outdo you, Amy, but it's been 52 years as a realtor in the area. And what I don't want to say too much tonight, but my office on Hammond's Ferry and Cleveland Road used to be Albrecht's Pharmacy. It was a pharmacy for 90 years at least. And I had a lawyer, Alan Angel, who rented from me for probably 6 or 7 years. And unfortunately, he had to move out. I had a couple strokes, and he just retired unexpectedly in the last couple of months. So I have some desk space available to rent to anybody who wants to start a business or has a small business and that's compatible with a real estate company operating out of the same building. Just give me a call later. I have some cards up here for you. That's all for now. All right.
Oh, thank you for that. Bruce, by the way, is a former president of LSIA.
I wanted to say that. It was in the late 1980s. For about 2 or 3 years, I was the president. And the reason it came to mind is you mentioned the Monitor. Before the Monitor was a thing, it used to just be the Linthicum newsletter or something like that. I forget. It didn't even have a name. And we had a contest when I was the president, and we took ideas from lots of different people. And Mr. Coleman from Dogwood Road is the one that came up with the word Monitor. And we've used that ever since for the last 30-some years. So that was pretty neat.
Excellent. Okay, well, Bruce, thank you for that. Okay, so we want to start off now with some of our business panelists. The first person we're going to talk to is Kelly Murray. She runs Stitch Your Legacy. Kelly's shop is all things sewing. This is sewing, crochet, all other skill sets that are involved basically with making things. I took a class with Kelly this year, and her motto, I guess, or it could be, it's sewing is your part of your soul, or saving your soul, something along those lines. Because we live in a very fast-paced world, very fast-paced environment. We're always going someplace, got to get someplace to be, et cetera, deadline here, deadline there. But sewing gives you a chance, crochet gives you a chance to breathe, So anyway, I didn't want to put words in your mouth, but perhaps you might have yeah.
Yeah, I'll take that. That sounds wonderful. I do consider my shop a third space for people just to be. I have a lot of young people that will just come in and see if I have any snacks. I always do. There's some 14-year-olds that have made it a pit stop, especially when it's cold outside. And that just fills me up because the shop is obviously, I'm trying to sustain and keep the doors open. But the goal is a portal to the community. We need to watch less TV and just connect and remember we all have more alike than we don't. And some skills that I learned early in life were crochet and sewing. The sewing came into play when I was a single mom, and back then it was cheaper to make clothes than buy them. I know, long time ago. And the crochet, it's an instant form of meditation. You slow down, and all of a sudden an hour goes by and you realize you haven't thought about all the things, right? You could sit there and try and meditate, and then all the things are there. But pick up a crochet hook, a couple knitting needles, and you're good for a bit. I got a special young lady here who's become a frequenter to the shop, and a very talented young crocheter. Her name's Penelope. And she's actually made this sweater in 2 days. Stand up, because this would take me a month. Do the turn. There we go. And right? She's making a cardigan for someone. It's going to require how many? 68. 68 of these. She's been banging them out. today I watched her bang out some hearts. But that's what I want to do, and it's happening. And I'm 2 years in. I have a new manager, and she's really helping with the social media. But it's bringing a lot of creatives together. Um, I want to put a shout out to our own personal Linthicum Princess Etch, Jane, who comes. Um, I hope she has an opportunity in a bit to let us all know what she does. But yeah, sewing fundamentals, some interesting different things, some different classes we're trying to put together, and I'm glad to be a part of Linthicum.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Thank you. We have one more panelist. Located at 452 North Campmead Road, is a different type of retail space. It's holistic. It's magical. It's called the Mystical Balance Workshop. Balance is here to tell us a little bit about her shop and a little bit about what it takes to start up a business.
Okay, so everybody, my name is Balance. I'm new to Linthicum. We've been here for only 3 years, but Mystical Balance have been a brand since 2016. She started in my home to vendors events to things like that, and what brought her to life was me. My personal story of being on the big pharma drugs for anxiety, and I just wanted to heal in a more holistic way. But being on medicines, I didn't know myself anymore. It was like I was mute, or, I wouldn't want to call myself a zombie, but I just wasn't myself anymore. Certain gifts that I had, or certain things that I wanted to do, or certain activities I used to do, all of that was torn from me. And then when I started to notice that, I started to look into what Granny used to do. And Granny used to grow her own garden, and she had her own herbs, and she mixed our medicines, and she made these things out of lavender and peppermint and rubbed them on our feet and rubbed them on our temples and prayed over us, And so when that light bulb went off, I said, I got to start something to heal people. I have to start something to help people, but I couldn't do it without helping myself. So my first thing that I started to do was mix my own herbal blends. And I started off with something simple, lavender oil. Whoever knew that lavender oil would just calm you like that? And I got myself off of the pharmaceutical drugs, and I started to just heal in a more holistic way. Got good sleep throughout the night. I was back myself again. I wanted to exercise. I wanted to do more things holistically. So that is what started Mystical Balance. And later she grew into meditation practices, herbal healing, natural teas, yoga, dancing to heal our bodies, bringing out the inner child, So all of these things are healing, and it's things that we forget to do because we're always on a hustle and bustle. Gotta work, gotta do this, gotta do that. So when you come to Mystical Balance Workshop, you can get your infamous mushroom coffee that Mr. Anthony always comes in for. And then you can just have a vibe. Certain scents bring out certain memories. So there's a lot of incense and a lot of sage and crystals and herbal blends. I have some things here today. We also teach about herbal medicines and living in a more holistic lifestyle. So we have classes every other Sunday. So that is what started us, and I'm happy to be a part of this community. We've been at the Linthicum location for 2 years now.
Very good. Very good. Well, I prepared a few questions for everyone here.
Yeah, hot walk. Yeah.
So I did prepare a couple of questions. I hope our sponsors don't mind. So Bruce, first question's for you. We talk all the time in our meetings about development in the Linthicum area. Condo here, townhouse there, renovated house here. Here. What does all this mean to the Linthicum real estate market?
What comes to mind, I'm sorry. If both of you've been around a long time, and before 2000, to get out of Andover High School, you used to walk through that big field, and Roberts, yes. So that was the start continuation of the development of Lincoln. They probably built 80 houses there back in on Fairmount Avenue, and then they built I think a Oaks across from Lincoln Park. So all those people brought more businesses to the Lincoln area, hopefully supporting the businesses here. When I got into business, really there might have been one or two more realtors in Lincoln. That's all. Now there's about 20. So a little competition also. Traffic also, the light rail, across the light rail, there weren't people here, there wouldn't be a need for a stop for food. Which may or may not good for everybody here, but we'd like to argue about that. But, is that better? Okay. So anyway, I think it's just brought more people, obviously, and more businesses. We've always had Northrop Grumman, and before it was Westinghouse. Most of the people here work there, so there's a lot of places to, a lot of employment from around this area, and I think that's what brought the houses and the extra construction in the last 25 years. Does that help you out?
Well, I'm looking at just costs. Let's say I lived on Smith Street and I want to get to Johnson Street. What's the difference between the cost of Johnson Street house now because of all this influx of folks?
Well, in 1979, my average sale price was $37,000, and now it's 10 times that at least, probably 15 times that average. So that wouldn't have happened without businesses, sprouting up, malls coming around to the area, Rundle Mills. I mean, the airport is gigantic compared to Friendship Airport back in the 50s and 60s. So it's had a great effect on prices of homes if you happen to own one. If you are buying your first one, you wish it was back to 1978. So it's just progress, and some people like it and some people don't. So that's about it.
So, Amy, this next question kind of dovetails on that. You have more population in the area. It seems like more roads, definitely more traffic. What does all this mean for insurance premiums?
I'm sure you all know what it means. You get your bill monthly or 6 months or annual. In my 25 years of doing insurance is the craziest I've ever seen it. And it's not just one carrier. I can write through 40 different carriers. It's the same for all the carriers here in Maryland. Unfortunately, Maryland is one of the highest in the entire country for the average insurance premium, both homeowners and auto insurance. What that has done is it's caused some carriers to pull out of Maryland completely. Some carriers won't even write insurance in Maryland anymore where they used to. So it goes back again to what I said before. Having an agent that you trust, that you can talk to openly and freely, that can give you advice. It is causing insurance premiums to go up, not just the influx of people and traffic and the weather. I know you all have seen the weather has been really crazy the last couple of years, it seems like. Wildfires, people don't realize that just because wildfires don't happen considerably, a lot here in Maryland, those do affect insurance premiums here. There's a trickle-down effect that happens. So when there's a wildfire or in California or a hurricane in Florida, or in the Gulf, that affects claims payouts here because supply and demand, right? If a million cars get burned up in a wildfire in California, the demand on cars and the supply goes down, and it causes car prices to inflate a little. Same thing with a hurricane in the Gulf. Shingles and plywood, all of that gets down there. Contractors go down there. The cost of labor and materials up here goes up. So a claim that might cost $50,000 to repair a house now costs $58,000. Doesn't sound like a big difference, but when that's over thousands of claims across the state, it causes insurance premiums to increase. So there's a lot of factors that go into why insurance is the craziest it has been. It kind of goes back to COVID. COVID, a lot of carriers, I don't want to say overreacted, but for lack of a better term, overreacted to COVID. Thought, oh, no one's driving, everyone's home. We need to do everyone a solid. We're going to give refunds. We're going to drop rates. It's going to be a while before everything gets back to normal. Well, within 6 months, everyone was back to driving again. I mean, we weren't fully open, but everyone was back out on the roads, and claims went up. I don't know if people forgot how to drive during COVID. I'm not sure what happened, but claims rates increased substantially. And all the carriers had dropped the premiums, the rates, and gave refunds back. So they found themselves in the hole, which caused in 2021, 2022, and 2023, I'm sure you all saw premiums increased substantially to try to recoup back what happened in COVID and then get themselves back in the black. So it's a combination of everything, I think, right now. I hate to use the term perfect storm because it sounds like it, but no pun intended, but that's sort of what it is with insurance right now. So my advice to everyone is just talk to your agent. Go to your agent, talk to them, make sure you have the discounts that you deserve, make sure your coverage is where you expect it to be and where you want it to be. Make sure you're covered and prepared in case something does happen. But, there's policies change. Carriers change discounts that they offer. Just because you didn't qualify for a discount on something 3 years ago doesn't mean that you don't qualify now. So speaking with your agent is what I suggest. That's the best thing you can do to offset that.
I'm going to have a follow-up, but I'm going to hit it later.
Okay, sure.
So, Kelly, this question is going to be for you. So you said that you've been in the business, your business, your brick and mortar business for a couple of years now. You offer a lot of different services. Okay. Of all the services that you offer, what are the two that are most important for your bottom line?
The classes. I teach beginner sewing, beginner crochet. That's most important to try and cover. I'm getting there. Getting close. Just the fact that I hung in there for 2 years because I worked 2 other jobs to make it happen. I'm getting closer.
Roger that. So, Balance, the next question is for you. So in your About Us statement, you mentioned that you make authentic gemstones, crystals, and sage available. What exactly is an authentic gemstone?
Well, an authentic gemstone is something that is actually mined from the earth. So the miners that we use, they're actually located in Philadelphia. They actually go out and do the work. They have a huge warehouse where they polish these stones, or lack of better words, tumble them. And then they pull up in their dirty, dusty truck to my shop, and I get to pick up all these amazing crystals and stones and things like that. So everything is so authentic. Now, when you purchase like crystals and different things online, you never know what you're going to get. A lot of times now they're having glass painted as crystals, and then they're not real. So when you do shop for these minerals from the earth, is what I like to say, we're getting authentic stuff. Everything's real. Yep.
So, Bruce, another question for you. You might have kind of touched on this earlier. Someone now decides, this is for me. I want to be involved in real estate. I want to be involved in real estate in Anne Arundel County. And they show up at your door. What advice would you give them?
I'll start out with the truth that the average career span for a realtor is less than 2 years. And that usually gets rid of them. They don't usually want to even follow up anymore. But if they are serious about it, they just need to be able to last, really. If they get in and they get discouraged after 6 months and they can't take that, then they are going to fall out of the business. And say if they could just last, just keep on going, make it happen longer and longer and longer, and it gets easier and easier. You build up clientele, you have referrals. They need to be empathetic. They need to feel like they can help people without worrying about how much money they're going to make. They need to be organized. I think if you can handle rejection, then you've got it made, because most people can't, and that's why they don't last very long, because you have to talk to 100 people to get make a sale these days. So if you can't take somebody saying they don't want to use you, or they want to put it off for a couple of years, it's just not going to work out. So you need to be kind of deaf a little bit and not worry about what people are saying. You got to have a plan, set your goals, and stick with it. I think those things would make you be a good realtor and make you last.
You just hit on something. I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask Amy the same question. To make the you said the sale, but I think what I'm interpreting is get the listing is what I was interpreting for that.
Get a listing, get a buyer to agree to work with you so you can find them a house.
On that listing,
yes,
right? Because you said I'm just going to wait. So what other things do you do to develop those listings?
Okay, well, I hopefully if you live in Linthicum, you've gotten my postcards. I've sent these out for 50 years. You're probably tired of seeing them. My son got his license 5 years ago, so now we're both pictured on the card usually. So to get a listing, you need to have somebody at least like you a little bit and trust you. So you can't be ripping people off and telling them things that aren't true just to get the listing, and the listing just sits there for months, and because you told them a price that's $500,000 too high, you just can't. You have to be honest. You got to do your homework. You got to come up with the right price. And mainly, in order to last, people have to like you and they have to trust you. So if that doesn't, if you can't accomplish that, then you're not going to get many listings, or you're not going to be around very long.
So, and the question, I guess, Amy, for you is for new business,
Mm-hmm.
what other things are you doing to develop new business?
Same thing I've been doing for 25 years, building relationships. That's what it's all about. I build relationships with the community. I build relationships, with other business owners. I build relationships with realtors and lenders. It's just super important, the relationship portion to me. I find that if I'm doing right by my customers and doing what's best for them, that's always at the forefront of what I do, and I'm building the relationships. The sales and everything else will come. I don't have to focus on that. I just went to a conference last week, an insurance conference, and some other agents don't function like that. That's just not me. They're just sales focused numbers. They're doing lots of marketing and buying leads and things like that. And that's the way they run their business. That's not the way I run my business. I would rather grow organically and slowly by building the relationships and being out in the community and sponsoring all the baseball and lacrosse teams and everything and doing that. I have the little kids come in my office because the moms know I'm a sucker. If a little kid comes and asks him for money for his baseball team, I'm going to give it to him. So I'd rather do that. I'm a mom. I'm a community member. I'm on the PTA and the HSA and everything else. So that's just the way that I do it. It's the relationships for me. And that's what's the most gratifying for me and satisfying for me, is building those relationships with people. If you're doing the right thing, everything else will fall into place.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, Balance, we're going to go to you next. Kind of tell us who your core customer is, your core client. Who are they? Tell us a little bit about them.
I would say that my core tribal member, because that's what we call them there. I would say that my core member is someone who's looking to pull their power back, to find their strength again, to come out of a hardship or a hard situation, relationship wise, business wise, fundamentally wise, or someone that's just looking to heal in a holistic way too, because I get a lot of clients who's just tired of just popping the pills for this and popping the pills for that, and they want something more, I would say, rooted in earth, to be able to not really stop their meds, but kind of like wing themselves off of it, and it tends to work for them. So someone looking to gain their power back, their strength back mentally, and a person who's looking to save themselves from things that are bandaging one problem and causing something more detrimental to their lives.
Kelly, cooking has Julia Childs, right? She's been gone for 20 years. Everyone knows who Julia Childs is, right? Sewing.
Julia
Oh.
Childs.
Well, we'll school you on that. Okay?
There was we'll balance on this. Julia Childs moved to France and for her husband's work, and then she was going to learn cooking, and she was very real, less French than the French, but there was a lot of butter involved. There was just a movie, Julia and Julia.
Okay.
Julia and Julia. It was a woman who was going to do one recipe per day out of her book. Yes.
Well, second, the question is there?
I do cook well.
I'm sure. But it relates to sewing and making things. Who is that person? Is there that person that people kind of look to and say, "Oh, that's her right there," and I want to make things like she does. I want to make things like he does.
I don't know who it is. For the way YouTube is, there's a lot of people out there. So people may come in and have ideas in their head, but I don't have anybody. Do you know anybody that we idolize that does crochet or
TikTok. It's TikTok.
I'll tell you, one of my staff
Lulu?
members does it at her desk while she's doing insurance.
Oh, I know her.
Yeah, Tia. Yeah,
I know Tia.
crochet while she's at her desk with her headset on
She's
while
very
she's
fast.
doing her insurance. Yeah, she's very good. So it's very popular.
Sam's a celebrity in his own right. There's a gentleman who stops in the shop now, and God bless him, he has found something, and he knits locations into a sweater, and then he takes
What'd you say?
he knits locations like the Golden State Bridge, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and he's done this for 173 sweaters. He doesn't sell one item. Do you know Sam? Yeah, so he comes into Stitch Your Legacy now. He just finished Harper's Ferry, so he wanted to show that off to me today. But he's like on Wikipedia. He was in Forbes magazine. It's like, what? Sam. Sam.
And he's from this area?
Yeah.
His job, he goes around to different knitting clubs. He puts 200 miles a week on his car because he sells, like, he makes his money on the social media. He sells T-shirts. He doesn't even sell anything knitted. He sells polyester T-shirts. But he's got his shtick. Sam Barsky.
Yep.
Yep, Sam Barsky. He's not what I would call like the Julia Childs of cooking, but God bless him. He sells cameos. You can hire him for $49 to sing happy birthday or wish somebody a happy birthday.
We'd like to open this up. Does anyone have any?
On that note,
If
what
anyone
else you got out there?
Yeah, the sweater guy.
did you a question?
Oh no, I'm just thinking of the picture.
That's the guy right there.
Let me give you that back. Let me tell you who has been in People magazine, and she's sitting right back there. There's your idol for anybody who does Etch-a-Sketch.
Etch-a-Sketch.
You've met her.
Here's the microphone.
You can look her up too.
Here, I'll stand up. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you can hear. Okay. Well, hi everyone. I've been coming to a few meetings here with my husband Kyle here. My name is Jane, and I honestly my introduction to Linthicum was really through Kelly at Stitch Your Legacy. I moved here about like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years, and Stitch Your Legacy really truly is my third space here in Linthicum. But yes, I am an artist as well. My career is in Etch-a-Sketch art. I've been doing this for 10 years, going on 10 this June. And yeah, I was in People magazine earlier this year. There's a little shout out to Linthicum Heights there. So it's been...
She put us on
Yeah. But yeah, it's been my career for the last decade, and just like Sam Barsky, who has to find unique ways to cobble together a living being a crocheter, I too have found unique ways. I've worked with a lot of amazing companies like Disney, Cartoon Network, MTV. I have some of my art in a Netflix movie. There is a way to make the art permanent, because that's always like the big question people have. Yeah. Normally an Etch-a-Sketch drawing does erase, but I disassemble the toy and make it so that you can safely transport it anywhere. You can mail it all over the world. I've mailed my art across the US. I've mailed it to Australia, Mexico, Europe, all over the place. So yeah, so what I do is I disassemble the Etch-a-Sketch. So inside of an Etch-a-Sketch is aluminum powder, and when you shake the Etch-a-Sketch, that's what recoats the screen to erase the image. So if you remove all of that powder and gut out the internal mechanism, you could safely turn the knobs and no new lines will appear, and there's nothing left to erase it. So the image that's been etched into the glass screen will safely stay. It's like in its own protected box. So yeah. And I do, yeah, I ship internationally. So we all know how careful the post office is with a package. So, yeah. But yeah. Yes, yeah, that's me. I'm Princess Etch, yeah. But yeah, so that's yeah, when I saw that this meeting was for small businesses, I was like, oh, that's so cool. I even thought to text Kelly, and then I found out she was on the panel. So, yeah. I do. Yes. One of the many facets of how I make a living, I do take on commissions. Happy to offer some local discounts, so you save me the effort of shipping and everything. But yeah, I have a website, princessetch.com, and you can see Princess Etch, the princess like royalty, etch like Etch-a-Sketch.com. Oh yeah. Oh, I can make that happen.
Great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
It only makes sense.
I do. Yeah. When we were talking about TikTok famous and all that stuff, I do all the social media. So social media is a big aspect of what I do as well. But I have to say, after moving here, we were in Ellicott City before. We're both originally from Michigan. I lived in Chicago for around a decade, then in Ellicott City. But moving here, I really feel like this has just been such a wonderful home. I really love it out here. It's been a pleasure to come to these meetings and meet a lot of the locals here. I can understand why people have really planted their roots here and been here for decades, because I feel very welcomed. And so I'm very excited to be. Oh yeah. Usually this outfit is very like low key demure for me, but under normal circumstances, I'm a walking rainbow. So my ensembles really fit the career path that I've chosen. So yeah. Well, thank you, everyone.
So, two things real quick. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions. A question just came to my mind though. For anyone in the business environment, the term social media just came up. How has that changed things for everyone on the panel? You have the microphone right there. Why don't you go ahead, Sarah?
I'm fairly new to social media. I believe that my kids made me do it, and they did everything for me. I'm usually like the word of mouth type, out in the community type, vendors events type, meeting people type. But my kids were like, Mom, that is so old school. We got to get you a social media. And now that I'm working it out and I'm doing live videos and I'm meeting a lot of people, and a lot of people are coming into the store asking, what's your TikTok? What's your Instagram? I would say that it's changed a lot, and it's gotten the word out that we exist. And we're getting more foot traffic because of social media. So I'm good with it now. Thank you, kids.
I've had sewers that I didn't realize were posting on TikTok. They'll do stories like, follow me in my sewing journey. And then I get people in, they're like, oh yeah, I saw so-and-so on TikTok. I'm like, who? Yeah, interesting extra facet. She's been posting. What's that app you use to fast forward? Oh, CapCut. Yeah, CapCut. She knows.
Same question, Bruce, Amy.
I really didn't want to answer this question. My real estate manager told me that if I didn't have a website, this was back in like 1995, in the next year I'd be out of business. I still don't have one. I've been avoiding that kind of stuff. I just figure if I keep abreast of the market and see all the houses that are for sale and know the prices and talk to the people that are interested in buying and selling, that I keep going. And so far that's worked. I'm not opposed to it. That's why I got my son in the business 5 years ago, for him to help me out in that regard. But I'm just still old school, and I don't know anything about any of that stuff. So there.
I feel like I'm kind of in between, where, you know, I'm old enough that I remember life before all of that, but I'm young enough where I'm trying to learn and trying to stay up on everything. So, insurance is a dry subject. So to be on social media and be posting videos and things like that, we're trying to make insurance fun, and not only just insurance based posts, but just posts about like our staff, and you get to know our team. And, you know, I'm really big on, when you all call my office, you're going to get a live person to talk to. I think that's super important. So even though most of my carriers require us to have the prompts when you call, I pay for a separate direct line so that you all can call us directly and get us. But I want you to know my staff. So I try to get my staff involved. They're all a little bit, well, most of them are a little bit younger than me. So they're kind of, they'll come up with I'm like, okay, everybody go on TikTok, find me an idea for this week, and they'll help me, which is nice. My kids aren't old enough yet, but as soon as they are, they're going to be working for me doing the social media for sure. It's free labor, child labor. Don't tell anyone. But yeah, social media is hard. I think it's easier for some businesses than it is for others. Like I said, insurance is a dry subject, so trying to keep it lively and interesting for people to want to watch our videos. So they're not all insurance based. So if you follow us, there will be some stuff that's just fun and silly, and, you know, trying to keep it light and let you get to know our staff.
Let's talk about that perception question, right? So we see all the insurance ads, we see the mascots. It's,
I mean, you can't watch TV for 5 minutes without.
And who's the other one? The limo. Is that the Liberty thing?
Yeah, Lemu, the emu.
So that's what you see. I mean, there's a couple of traditional Amicas out there and travelers, but everyone else is pretty gimmicky. And is that just the industry just saying, hey, we gotta liven it up, kind of thing?
Yeah, and I think there's so many, 10 largest carriers. It's just so cutthroat that they have to try to stand out however they can, and they just blow tons of money on advertising, and I cringe every time I see any of them. I wish they didn't. I wish they would get back to, the local agent and talking to your local agent and the relationship with your local agent, and not do, the gecko or whatever. But that's the difference between the carriers, right? So not to call out any of the carriers, but the gecko, you don't have a local agent. You have an 800 number that you call and talk to someone different every time, and there's no accountability there. You're never going to speak to that person again. That's the difference between the Geicos and the Progressives of the world versus, the State Farms and the Allstates, where you have a local agent that you get to know. So it just really is about that relationship, and I wish they would get back to it and get away from all the gimmicky. But they're just trying to catch people's eye and keep their name in your head, with the different jingles and everything, so that the next time you get your bill or you have a bad experience with your agent or your carrier, you're going to say, oh, Lemu, or, oh, Mayhem, I'm going to call us, whatever the case may be, you're going to call that carrier. So I really just think it's, trying to stay in front of your memory when the time comes.
Perfect. Well, I didn't see anybody who had any specific questions. So, hold on here.
As a newbie to Linthicum, I have to know, Amy, what is the scavenger hunt about?
Oh, the scavenger hunt. Okay. So around Christmas time, again, it started during COVID. I asked for 10 houses to volunteer who decorate, really go all out for the decorating. And this year I did help sponsor the decorating contest, since I wasn't as involved with the scavenger hunt. So I tried to at least support the decorating a little bit in the community, because my children, we love it. We love driving around Linthicum and looking at all the decorations. So during COVID, I asked to throw it out there on social media, asked for 10 houses to volunteer that really go all out with their decorating, that wouldn't mind if people came and stopped in front of their house, and took a selfie with the house behind them. I asked them not to go on their property, not to, bother them in any way, shape, or form. And then everybody posts, if you can find the 10 houses, I give like hints. So, it's on this road and you have to find the 15-foot ornament or whatever, the 8-foot snowman or whatever. And you have to find the item. And if you sent in all the 10 pictures, selfies that you took, you could win the prize. So I think we had like 25 entries, and out of there we picked the 3, and they got prizes, gift cards to local restaurants.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, so just something. It takes a lot of organizing. I'm not gonna lie. My kids love it though, because we get to drive around and look at all the nominees, and then I make like a little map for everyone. And you come to my office and get the map out the Friday evening at 5. We have people lined up waiting to grab their maps. And I leave them out there all weekend, and it closes at Sunday night. So you just come and get your map and the hints, and then just go around and take your selfies and have fun with your family, and then maybe win dinner. So. Yeah, I was bummed to not do it this year. Like I said, I don't want to do the same 10 houses every year because it kind of defeats the purpose of a scavenger hunt. And I only had 2 new houses this year. So everyone next year, please, in November when everyone starts decorating, I'm going to ask everyone to kind of help me. And if you have a neighbor whose house is really cool, say, hey, you should volunteer for the scavenger hunt. Like I said, I ask them, don't go on your property. Don't, try to be as quiet as you can and not, disturb the people whose houses that you're going to. Just admire the decorations like you would any other time and move on. But I want the families to have a good time. Thanks.
Well, I think this is going to bring things to the end. I'm going to turn the mic over to President just to dismiss us in a second, but please hang around for a minute or two. You can see our guests brought some literature in about their businesses. So please hang around just for a minute or two. Check out, they made some effort here, and it'll be appreciated to see what they're doing. But I'm going to turn this over to Kara and thank our guests, of course.
Thank you for taking the time to come out and tell us all about your businesses. We do, usually have a period where we ask about announcements. Is there anything any board members want to talk about? Jonathan, any police business?
I saw that there was a sewer problem when we weren't supposed to use our washing machines and things. Did anybody know what was going on with that?
I learned about. I saw a posting after it was over, so I had already used all my, waters, whatever. It must have been. It was kind of. I only saw it after it happened. Did you have something to add about that?
At 8:34 p.m. was when the announcement went out. And it was because it was the sewer had expanded out to the point they didn't want any water going into the sewer system while they were trying to clean it out and get it back into shape. And that was basically what it was. And it was in the Ferndale, Linthicum area. So that was about it.
Thank you.
Okay. On the PCRC and the police meetings, so I get to do that every month. They have 2 meetings every month now. So that was the PCR meeting, which would be on the first Wednesday of the month. And then they had a community meeting, which was the 3rd Tuesday of the month. And they've decided now, since we're basically getting the same people at both meetings. So they said, let's try to save some time. We'll just keep the the Wednesday meeting, the first Wednesday of the month. And that'll be the PCRC meeting and the community meeting together. So I thought it made a lot of sense. I'm going to 2 meetings and we're saying the same things twice. So the first Wednesday of the month at 6:00 at the Northern District. And so this month they had a change of the board. They had a new board members up there taking care of things. They had a few elected officials that were planning or campaigning, and they had a few of those talk about things. That actually happened to be the same day at the Freetown situation that they had. So that was a big stir with the police, and they were all trying to regather from that. And they were doing a shift change at the same time. The police department, by the way, are on a 12-hour shift now, so they're just getting used to that. It's been about the third or fourth week they've been doing that. So, but the Freetown thing, they didn't really give any more information that they've been able to give out. But one thing they did say that the police department did say that the staff in the school really did a great job handling that situation. So it was good to hear. Sergeant Crawford deals with a lot of the special forces or whatever, detective work and plainclothes. He says they're having a lot of problems with auto thefts. Seems like people like leaving their cars unlocked a lot. So lock your cars if you can. Try to reduce that down. Also, they're stealing a lot of auto parts. So that's getting to be a big thing still. So try to keep your property well lit if you can, or keep it in the garage or whatever you can do. Stack your cars in your driveway if you can, so you don't have things stolen. Makes it easier. Put motorcycles away. They like picking those up and running away with them. Like I said, the captain finally came out from her meeting and took care of the rest of that. I think there was they're doing a community map now, or showing maps of our region 1, Northern District, and they're showing how they used to use stick pins literally in a map of what incidents happen. Now this is more of an electronic one. They keep it to themselves because they use it as a tool to find out where they want to dispatch officers and how they keep people looking at things. But I found it really interesting that the hotel district over here has a lot of stick pins in it, and it's a lot of auto thefts and auto parts being stolen. So people are taking rental cars over there. They're staying in the hotels and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of activity over that way. So be careful and just park in the right spot. And they're trying to get more patrols over there to take care of some of that too. They also had a thing during the holidays, Northern Lights, that they had basically worked real hard on paying for overtime for the Glen Burnie area, Ritchie Highway, and some of the shopping centers there. So, and they seem to have done a lot of, they felt like they did a lot of good. It's hard to do it. This is kind of the first year they did it. They're kind of, the metrics of it, they're not sure how it may have come out, but they did make a lot of arrests and a lot of stops, and they seem like they're going to do it again next year. So I figured it was a good thing to do. Other than that, that's basically what's going on. If there's anything anyone has that even come up after, if I could take to them, I'm happy to give them information as we go. Okay.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah. Police always remind us of this stuff too. If you've got kids with athletic equipment, don't keep that stuff in your car. If you guys know what a baseball bat costs these days, it's $500 to $600. Yes, an aluminum baseball bat is $500 to $600 these days. Okay, golf equipment, gloves, lacrosse sticks, you name it. It is, yeah. But and a lot of this sports equipment too is, and it's brightly colored stuff because that's what the kids like, and it sticks out like a sore thumb in the back of your van, your SUV, or whatever. So yeah. So yeah, if you've got athletic equipment, don't keep it in the car, or find a secure spot for it, because we've heard stories of people going after baseball bats and lacrosse sticks and you name it. God help you if you have hockey equipment. That's a mortgage payment.
All right. Thank you. Any other announcements or questions? Lori, we have next March 11th is our next meeting, and is the
we have a representative from OEM, the Office of Emergency Management. I believe it's going to be Jorge Pacar. I think that's how I say his name. It's either going to be him or somebody. Just discussing, I mean, they may even talk about the epic snowstorm we just had, or just anything that is in general that the public should be, so aware of. That's it.
All right, thank you. So we hope you will join us for that. So if there are no more questions, then thank you all very much for coming, and we hope you join us next month as well.